Coming up on WUFT's First at 5, Donald Trump has been found guilty on all 34 accounts in hush money trial. The public continues to have strong opinions as more updates come through the trial.
Plus, a neighborhood in Marion County banded together when a house caught fire. How neighbors were quick to respond and alert authorities.
And a Morrison man was reported and arrested after multiple stabbing incidents. How police say he was caught after entering a couple's home. First at 5 starts right now.
First at 5, from the University of Florida's College of Journalism and Communications, you're watching WUFT News.
Florida Republicans quickly attacked the conviction of former President Donald Trump on 34 counts of falsifying business records.
While Democrats said the verdict showed nobody is above the law. A 12-member jury returned the verdict more than a month after the criminal hush money trial began in New York and after just one day of deliberations. Trump is the first former president to be convicted of a crime after leaving office. He wasn't pleased with the guilty verdict. Trump repeated his claim about the non-disclosure agreement that Michael Cohen paid Stormy Daniels, falsely stating that the payments were legal. Facing anything from a fine to prison time, former President Trump speaking out today, one day after jury convicted him of scheming to hide payments to a porn star to help his 2016 election. All eyes now look ahead on the impact on this November's election. NBC's Alice Barr, her reaction and fallout from Washington.
With the weight of a conviction on 34 felony counts hanging over him, former President Trump today slamming the verdict, the judge, and the process, vowing to appeal what he calls a political prosecution.
It was a rigged trial. We wanted a venue change where we could have a fair trial. We didn't get it. We wanted a judge change. We wanted a judge that wasn't conflicted.
President Biden making his first comments since the verdict.
It's dangerous. It's irresponsible for anyone to say this was rigged just because they don't like the verdict. The justice system should be respected, and we should never allow anyone to tear it down.
In a speech that touched on policy and personal grievances, Mr. Trump adamantly denied wrongdoing and addressed why he never testified, despite publicly saying he wanted to.
If it were George Washington, don't testify, because they'll get you on something that you said slightly wrong.
Republican allies rallying to the presumptive GOP nominee's defense. House Speaker Mike Johnson predicting the conviction will be overturned.
I do believe the Supreme Court should step in. Obviously, this is totally unprecedented, and it's dangerous to our system.
The Trump campaign saying a surge of post-verdict donations crashed their fundraising site.
I think this is going to actually help Trump because the people that were maybe undecided and more middle of the road probably see this as a political persecution.
To me, it's justice. It's obvious. This is how our judicial system works.
The Biden campaign accused Mr. Trump of sowing chaos, saying, quote, "This man cannot be president of the United States." The verdict's true fallout now up to voters. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
It's been sunny with temperatures in low 90s here in north central Florida. We have not seen much in the way of afternoon storms this week, but that could be changing over the weekend. WUFT's Kara Rydberg joins us now with the weather forecast.
Beautiful look over the UF campus, the O'Connell Center and Stadium receiving some sunlight with the temperatures up in the 88 degrees with wind coming from the east at 14 miles per hour with our gusts being up to 23 miles per hour. Looking at our 24-hour temperature change, we can see pretty consistent from what we saw yesterday with -2 degrees in Palatka, +1 degree in Gainesville, and up to 6 degrees different in Tallahassee. Our storm tracker shows that there's storms over the Louisiana area. Now these storms could possibly push into the Panhandle area and Gainesville area, but I will be getting to that later. For right now, the weekend is looking pretty cooler in the morning, upper 60s, as it transitions into the low 90s by 3 p.m. with some rain possible on Sunday. Right now, coming up, we will be discussing the patchy fog possible tonight, the hot weekend that can be expected, and a chance of a stormy Sunday.
A joint training operation leads to large drug seizure in Columbia County. Deputies patrolled the interstate as part of a training, but ended up seizing 30 kilos. Authorities say that adds up to more than $1 million in street value. They found 95 Xanax pills, 35 grams of oxycodone. Authorities confiscated a little more than $20,000 and arrested 3 people.
A Marion County man is found guilty on multiple counts of child sex abuse material. A jury found 38-year-old Brandon Allen Eledge guilty of 3 felony counts of possession of pornography. Officials received a tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children that an account registered to Eledge was uploading illicit material involving minor children. Detectives searched his home in February after receiving the tip. They asked Eledge about the online account registered to him, and he said it was his. He told officials that the account was shut down and received a notice indicating a violation of the account's terms of usage. Eledge was arrested on the spot. And the man known as the Volunteer Santa, who was at the time a commissioned and former fire chief, was arrested by the Broward Sheriff's Office and sentenced to 5 years in prison for possessing child sexual abuse materials. He admitted to downloading and sharing the explicit content. He will serve his time in a facility with a residential drug abuse treatment program and will be supervised for release 20 years after his sentence.
A Morriston man was arrested for multiple stabbing incidents. Multiple 911 calls reported stabbing. Deputies went to Morriston. Authorities say they were told Justin Bryant attacked 2 people at their home, stabbing and slashing them multiple times. The victims told deputies the suspect had been to their home before and borrowed their phone to make a call. Other than that, they said they didn't know him. The victims were able to escape to a neighbor's home. Deputies received another call about 2 more individuals suffering from blunt force wounds. Authorities say Bryant left before deputies arrived. Deputies found Bryant in a wooded area. He was then arrested and booked in the Levy County Detention Center. Levy County also received calls about a domestic dispute. Authorities say Joshua Carter held his former girlfriend against her will at a location in Morriston. Deputies say Carter lured her to his home. The 2 argued, and when she tried to leave, officials say he pushed her onto the couch, took her glasses, and threatened to kill her and himself. The ex-girlfriend escaped. Deputies located him in Citrus County. Carter returned to Levy County, as was arrested.
In Marion County, one neighborhood's quick response set the fire and rescue team into action after multiple callers told 911 about a house fire. They reported smoke and heavy flames. At the time, they didn't know if anyone was home. When firefighters arrived, 50% of the home was in flames. Firefighters located the fire in the detached garage, which extended into the attic. Fire and rescue searched. No one was home. The cause and origin of the fire remains under investigation at this time. Coming up on WUFT's First at 5, find out what story on WUFT.org is trending and capturing the hearts of viewers.
Marion County is remembering the Ocala mother of 4 Ajike Owens.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Marion County is remembering the Ocala mother of 4 Ajike Owens. Authorities say she was shot and killed by neighbor Susan Lorenz. The city is commemorating her life in Ocala Sunday. Lorenz is charged with manslaughter. She pleaded not guilty, and her trial begins in June.
During the Jim Crow era, Florida had the highest rate of lynchings per capita. The Alachua County Community Remembrance Project, known as the ACCRP, is recognizing the victims by holding a ceremony tomorrow. The soil collection jar exhibit will recognize lynchings that occurred between 1882 and 1930.
The whole idea of collecting soil from these sites as a way to remember what took place was a good idea and something that they wanted to continue to do themselves. And so that's how we came to have the soil collection here in Alachua County.
The exhibit is one of many ways that the ACCRP is spreading knowledge about the racial violence that took place in Florida. In 2018, Alachua County joined the Truth and Reconciliation Project and partnered with the Alabama Equal Justice Initiative.
Let's take a look at one of the most popular stories on WUFT.org. It's about manufactured homes being one of the critical solutions to Florida's housing woes. The report by WUFT digital journalists Lemnis and Sophia Abba-Thipti filed the report, which includes the findings and stories with people who have been affected most.
And right about now, there are about 300,000 of these pre-70s mobile homes constructed in the state of Florida. And these are the homes that are most vulnerable for large storms like Hurricane Idalia.
For the full context of this story, please visit WUFT.org, where you can access news you need at any time of the day.
A 12-year-old from Florida beat out 244 other contestants to win the 96th annual Scripps National Spelling Bee. Browett Soma left the contest Thursday night with a trophy, reference library from the Merriam-Webster, and a $50,000 prize. Soma secured his title after a spell-off, where the top two contenders attempt to spell as many words as possible in only 90 seconds. His competitor Faizin Zaki, a 12-year-old from Texas, spelled 20 words, but determined to win, Soma steamed ahead, hitting 29 words to win the competition. Soma said he was really excited about the win because he practiced very hard in the past year to prepare.
The U.S. Department of Labor is suing Hyundai for breaking child labor laws. They claim that Hyundai disregarded labor laws and knowingly hired a 13-year-old. The complaint filed by the Department of Labor says a staffing agency employed the child to work on an assembly line at Smart, Alabama. The company not only provides car parts to Hyundai, but Smart's parent company is also owned by them. Allegedly, while the child was employed from July 2021 to February 2022, they worked up to 60 hours a week. The Department of Labor claims that Hyundai, Smart Alabama, and the staffing agency all violated multiple child labor provisions. Though Hyundai says it is not responsible for employing the child, they continue to cooperate during the investigation. They have also taken measures to prevent the employment of underage workers in the future, and Smart Alabama has declined to give comment on the complaint.
There is a large system of storms soaking right now the Louisiana and coastal Mississippi area. The storm will move and possibly hit north central Florida, and I will be tracking these storms after the break.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
Still beautiful conditions over the UF campus with our temperature at 88 degrees with winds coming out of the east at 14 miles per hour with gusts up to 23 miles per hour. Right now our temperatures are pretty much consistent throughout the board with upper 80s and lower 90s. And our heat index actually shows that the temperatures are pretty much same as the regular temperatures. This is due to the lower humidity we've been experiencing this week. Right now, our hour by hour is showing that at 7 p.m. it's going to be hot at 91 and I'll transition slowly down to 67 by morning. Right now, our Saturday morning temperatures are going to be in the lower to mid 60s and even 74 up in St. Augustine. Right now, tomorrow, we can expect around 8 a.m. 68 degrees with some early fog possible. 12 p.m. partly cloudy with 86 degrees. And 4 p.m. showers unlikely but still possible with 91 degrees. With the radar, it's showing that there is a lot of storms heading over the Louisiana area. Now these storms actually have the potential to push into the Panhandle overnight and possibly affect us Sunday. Right now the storms again pretty dry over the southeastern United States with the orangey dusty red, and over green with the green moisture over Louisiana. Again, these storms are possible to push over to the Panhandle and eventually affect us down in Gainesville. For our 7-day outlook, we see 91 degrees Saturday and Sunday, mid 90s Monday through Thursday, and Friday a high of 99 degrees, and with rain possible from Sunday to Thursday. Get ready, hurricane season is coming with forecasters predicting a daunting number of storms. The 6-month hurricane season starts June 1st. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration forecasts up to 25 named storms with up to 13 reaching hurricane strength and 4 to 7 packing a Category 3 or stronger winds. The 2020 Atlantic hurricane season was the most active on record with 30 named storms. Of course, it's impossible to know whether these storms will crash into Florida, but just in case, emergency management officials says it's never too early to stock up on supplies. Right, Eva?
Right, Kara. The start of the 14-day tax holiday when shoppers will be able to buy a wide variety of hurricane supplies without paying sales taxes. According to the National Weather Service forecasters at the Climate Prediction Center, this season is expected to have above normal hurricane activity. The executive director of the Florida Division of Emergency Management, Kevin Guthrie, wants to make sure Florida is ready.
We're going to make sure that we're ready with all of our vendors, all of our state emergency response team members for this hurricane season.
Severe weather can occur at any moment, so meteorologists like WUFT's William Maxim suggests that individuals prepare as early as possible.
We've got several months before we're really into the most active part of the season, so now is the time where you can get all of these little things like batteries, flashlights, coolers, can openers, and things like that you need to just have ready when the storm is right on the doorstep.
Guthrie noted danger may be prevalent this season, making protection key.
Nobody can predict the future, but what they're saying is all of the elements, where the Bermuda High sets up, where the ocean water temperatures are at, the fact we're going from an El Nino to a La Nina, all the ingredients are there for that to be an active season.
Creating a hurricane kit can be vital. Kit can contain essentials like water, non-perishable food, medications, flashlights, batteries, and any important documents. Experts suggest to plan for the best, but prepare for the worst.
You're watching WUFT-TV News.
It's Friday, it's playoff time, it's time for sports. I'm Jamie Goldman. We start today in Oklahoma at the Softball College World Series, where the Gators' Keegan Rothrock shined last night. It was a pitcher's duel the whole way through, but with Rothrock throwing 7 shutout innings, only allowing 2 hits. Florida was able to escape with a narrow 1-0 victory. Alongside Rothrock, the hero of the night was Katie Kistler, who blasted a solo home run in the bottom of the 5th inning, which ended up being the difference. The Gators' next test will be tomorrow night, when they'll be tasked with facing the #1 team in the country in the Texas Longhorns. First pitch tomorrow is set for 7. Gators baseball is also in Oklahoma, where they are competing in the Stillwater Regional of the NCAA tournament. Florida is in the midst of their first NCAA regional game right now. Florida infielder Cade Curlin got the scoring started with a leadoff home run to begin the game. And the Gators currently lead Nebraska 3-2 in the 7th inning. One final note, the French Open has just announced that they will no longer be serving alcohol in the stands to fans after a series of reports of disruptive behavior.
Before we go, one last check on the weather.
Yes, so Saturday and Sunday we should expect temperatures in the low 90s. Through Monday and Thursday, we see temperatures moving on to the mid-90s. And then on Friday, a high of 99 degrees and sunny. From Sunday to Thursday, we can expect roughly about a 30% chance, a 20% chance of rain.
Man, it's hot. I was just at Disney. It is getting hot. Summer is here.
That's right, Jamie. Thanks for joining us. We're back here tomorrow for another edition of First at 5.
But your North Central Florida news is always on at WUFT.org and on all our social media platforms. Have a good night.